Where should shoulder/neck massages fall in boundaries?
The only reason you're doing that is to be physical. Like, there's absolutely absolutely no, like, if you actually have really bad neck pain, ask your mother or a friend.
What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Paul.
I'm Morgan.
I'm Lucy.
I'm Caroline.
In today's video, we're doing a part 2 Christian Q&A. We got some good questions. You guys haven't seen the questions. Are you ready to go?
I'm so ready to go.
Bring it.
Let's go.
But first, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We make Christian videos on life, love, and dating to help you have hope.
And be free. Thank you, Caroline.
You're welcome.
Free.
Those of you who might be inquiring, because I'm sure there are some of you, both
Yes,
Lucy...
we are single.
And ready to mingle. 22 and 24, right here.
Without further ado, we're going to just dive into the first question. This is a really good one. I'm glad you guys are here to help break it down. Should you compromise on not being attracted to someone because they have good character?
We think very differently on this.
No, we don't.
That's
No,
good.
we
That's
don't.
good
I
conversation.
I don't think we do.
Debate. Healthy debate.
So
Wait,
my
what do you
view is that a lack of maybe instant attraction could be made up for in just who they are as a person. So I can give a little look to gain a little, quality.
But
of
do you think that
personality.
attraction would grow? Like, because if that attraction doesn't grow, like, not to be vulgar, I won't be vulgar, but if I don't want to
I
have
think this needs to go vulgar.
sex
Oh.
with somebody,
Yeah.
like, if I'm not attracted to that person in that way,
You're scared that the attraction will never grow
won't.
beyond where it is.
Right, and if that's the case, then I would not marry that person. Maybe I would, like, give that person a try, like, we would go out on a date or something.
You'd probably agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, if there's after a period of time and I'm like, nothing about this guy is really striking me as interesting and I'm also not really physically attracted, I'd probably cut it off.
Because you can grow more physically attracted to a person by getting to know their personalities. But then there are times when you can't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Peace out.
So I think we do agree.
Okay.
Okay, let's move along with the little love fest.
The sister fest.
Good answers, though. Where should shoulder/neck massages fall in boundaries?
Bad idea, bad idea, bad idea.
Why are you Why is that something you're doing? The only reason you're doing that is to be physical. So I love you, whoever asked that question. You're great.
Caroline Reinhardt,
I'm
ladies
just
and
saying.
gentlemen.
I just know how it goes.
Yeah.
I've been there.
She's got, as kooky as she sounds, she has got a lot of wisdom. I'm kidding. That sounded pretty spot on to me. Should someone's family be a deal breaker? So you're really connecting with the person, and then you meet their family for the first time, and you're just like, wow.
Well, if that had been the way Morgan was with you, I feel like you guys would not be together. So I think
True,
you
I
need
would
to be
peace
careful.
Where are you going with that? Okay, my family is a little bit, they take a little
We
out.
love Trainer Joe.
I would have peaced
Leanne.
out because they didn't like me. So I would have just been like, okay, I'm out. But I stood my ground and I said, no, these people will like me at some point
So that's
in their lives.
kind of like a
And they
reverse to this
They
question.
don't.
If you don't like the family,
I think that it really depends. If you feel like the Lord has very clearly told you that this person is your husband or wife, then stick through it. Fight through it. You guys, it'll get better or maybe it won't, but what matters is that you and your person that the Lord has told you to be with are together and you're glorifying God.
Yeah.
And you can be lights to the family or you can totally step back from the family. I don't know. It's up to you. But that'll be something the two of you all would have to figure out. I don't think it needs to ruin a relationship.
Yeah.
if the person seems very dependent on their family, it's good to be close to your family and love them, but if they're super dependent and the family feels dysfunctional, it's okay, that could be a red flag. But if the person feels okay, I'm gonna leave and cleave to my husband, to my wife, it's okay, the family's kind of weird, but I feel confident that this person isn't going to still remain like super attached once we get married. Okay, this is an interesting one. It is a girl expressing her passionate pain at a guy. Why does he say we should hang out again but never follows up? Is he waiting for me to initiate it? Okay, maybe not. She's not expressing passionate pain, but she is perplexed.
Can I answer the question?
Please.
Go for it. If he wants to hang out with you, he's gonna make sure it happens.
True.
Whoa, do we agree? Do we agree, ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's like the answer you don't want to hear. Believe I've had to come to grips
Terms.
with that myself. But
Yeah, we all have it.
People make time for the things that they think are important.
yeah.
Put that on a shirt and wear it.
Yeah.
Yes, and me being the one guy, yes. If a guy, and there are just some passive guys that, yeah, like maybe they would say, yeah, I'm interested, but I'm not going to really pursue or follow up. And that's like, you don't want that type of guy anyway. But a guy that's really like looking seriously and likes you, he will climb to the moon and back to make sure he gets a second date or sees you again. I agree with the ladies on this one. And before I get to this question, make sure you're following us on Instagram, especially if you want a chance with these ladies.
Yeah.
Not this lady. And also follow Caroline on TikTok. She's about to hit 1,000 followers.
Get her there,
Let's
guys.
go.
Get her
I'll
there.
link her TikTok below. All right, this is a good one for the ladies. Help out a fellow lady. How do I overcome nervousness of being approached/pursued by a Christian guy? Is that a scary thing?
I think I crave that experience. So I might be
They
on the
want
other
it. They want
end.
it desperately.
But I could see how something new could be something fearful. So I get that.
I think that's interesting because I don't think I would have said that I had a fear of being like pursued. Like I wanted that, but then when Paul started pursuing me, I became very nervous and was like, whoa, wait, this guy's like legit. Like he's walking with God. This is actually really scary. Like this is what I prayed for, but like now I don't want it. I don't know. I'm scared. Like what? And so like it took me a little bit of needing to work through that and getting over it, and also him telling me, and like part of that was just because of my past. I just felt like I was not worth it. I wasn't worthy. I didn't deserve to be with a godly man who had waited until marriage. Like, I didn't deserve that, and I needed to get past that. I don't know if you're asking that question because you've done things in your past, and so now you feel like, you know, you've repented and you're walking with the Lord and you're saving yourself and whatever, but you still feel like you're not worthy of a godly Christian man. Like, you've got to get past that lie that the enemy has placed in your head. It's not true. You are worthy. The Lord wants you with a godly man who's going to lead you closer to him. So,
Wow, you went deep there. That may have
No,
been
I
deeper
agree.
than what they were asking in the
That was
question.
perfect.
No, I agree.
But
yeah.
it may have been just what they need.
But also sometimes Christian guys can be kind of crazy. So there's that too.
They can, for sure.
You know how they're like,
super intense.
we need to marry, we need to get married, we need to get married, we need to get married. And,
And they can go a little overboard.
Yeah. So if it's that,
I have
like,
to have grace for the woman who might not have had this vision when they were 10.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my wife.
Yeah, and even though we're being intentional and wanting to move at a good pace, some guys can be a little like, I need to know this week, next week, and it's like, so we can relax a little bit. And you can just talk to them. If that's like, if you feel like some of that's happening, just communicate with them, and hopefully they'll understand. When do you know it's the right time to make it official and become each other's boyfriend/girlfriend?
coming from someone who was in a relationship for 3 years but wasn't actually in a relationship because he wasn't really allowed to date.
Wow, 3 years.
I say it was a very toxic situation. Like, you'll know. I don't know. I don't think that there's a specific timeline, but just don't let it go on for 3 years. Don't do that to yourself. I think that's all I have to
3
say.
years with no official.
It was horrible.
well, it's funny because like a month into our relationship, I was calling him my boyfriend, but Paul did not call me his girlfriend for like until he like proposed, and I was like, what is wrong with you?
It wasn't
Till
that long.
proposal?
It wasn't that long.
Okay, it was like a few weeks before proposal, and he was like, someone asked him, he was like, so is this your girlfriend? And for the first time, he's like, yeah, this is my girlfriend. And I was like, finally!
I don't personally think that having to call them titles really means that much.
I disagree. It means
To
a
a
lot
girl,
to a
it
girl.
means a lot.
And that is something, guys, you might want to think about. Because for me, I felt like my affection and the way I treated her was enough to show her that we were something real without having to go around and say, this is my girlfriend, but it obviously...
But we need that affirmation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there you go.
So I would say, like, what are you waiting for, I guess? Why are you, like, opposed to calling them your girlfriend or your boyfriend? Like, is it because you don't see yourself with them, that you shouldn't be dating them? Or is it because you don't want to close yourself off to just one person? Well, then you probably shouldn't be seriously dating. Like,
And I think for me, I just wanted to be so sure.
Yeah, I get that.
Did you?
Don't make that face at me. Okay, here's an interesting one. What do you do in the situation of going to the other's church when not the same?
I think there should be a little give and take in both
Give and take
the
is
people.
a very good thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with visiting his church and visiting her church. And then you might even end up in a case where you're like, oh, these churches don't meet the needs we need as a couple, so maybe you would even start seeking out a different church. But from then, you just have to use godly discernment, like, not a pros and cons list, but what helps you in your walk with the Lord more.
And I would look at the practical stuff, like you said too. It may be that you guys end up going to a completely new church. I do think God is often in the practical, and sometimes we can over spiritualize. Don't overthink it. Does one just make more sense? Were one of you guys much more plugged into your church than the other one was, their church?
Yeah, I mean, we took turns going back and forth to our churches, and then when we got married, I moved an hour away from my church, and I wasn't like, I love that church, but I was fine with going to Paul's church, and then we ended up actually deciding to find another church for us.
Yeah.
And it's been good.
Don't feel like you have to have all the answers. You can kind of take things in stride, see what organically just
Yeah.
happens. How long is too long to just be talking / texting without going on a date?
I'd say 1 month.
Yeah, I think
There you
a
go.
month
I think
is
that's the
probably
same.
a
Very
good.
practical.
There you go. That's just my opinion. That would be me. Say I was in college and I saw this guy regularly, but like he hadn't asked me on a date yet, but we were texting and talking like very a lot, and he still a month later had not asked me out. I'd be like, peace out. No point in me wasting time, like, if you're not gonna make a move.
How long are you able to wait? And if you've been talking for a month and you're like, okay, this is getting too long for me, maybe just say something. But I mean, at some point, you might just be talking to a really passive guy that's chicken, and that's kind of on them.
Or just enjoys texting conversations, and it's like, sorry, buddy, I'm not gonna be that girl for you.
Yeah,
Right?
I want something
Amen.
more than this.
Amen.
And girls, you have a right.
Yeah, we
You
do.
have a right.
We do.
Goodness.
Because we are worthy.
Wow. You guys really, the bonding is just touching. All right, great question. Does God always confirm your future husband and wife? Does God always confirm it?
We've talked about this before too. No.
I mean, so far I've not gotten any sort of confirmation. If you want to clue me in.
I mean, I think sometimes he can work like that, but I don't think that that's something you need to be looking out for.
Because he gives us discernment too,
Right.
The Spirit
He gives
works
us
through
this
us.
thing called a noggin.
Yeah, I think that some people have heard it very clearly. I heard it very clearly. This is your husband, take care of him. And I was like, okay, Lord, you got it. Paul's wasn't as clear. Like, he more or less got confirmation that the Lord was going to bless our relationship. He blessed our relationship and was going to bless our marriage. But it wasn't like this is your wife, now date her or marry her, whatever.
You are missing my plan for you if you don't date her. And I feel like a lot of Christians fall into that spot of, am I going to miss God's plan?
Yeah.
Am I going to mess it up if I date this person and he hasn't audibly spoken it to me, or, something like that. And I think that is, once again, if the blessing is there, if there's things in the practical sense that are lining up and are right, and the person's godly, and the person has certain characteristics that you want in a husband or wife, you don't need to over spiritualize it. That's my opinion.
Or else you might just miss out.
All right, guys, so you heard our answers. We want to get your answer specifically on this question. How long is too long to just be talking, texting without going on a date? Because I'm very intrigued. What do you guys think about that? What's your time frame?
Comment below and let us know.
Yes, give this video a thumbs up if you appreciated having Lucy and Caroline back on the Paul and Morgan Show. We appreciated it.
We love you
We
guys.
love you guys. You're the best.
Cool.
So much.
Anything else to say to the Paul and Morgan fam?
You know, my Instagram, you can DM me. I answer most DMs. Just please be normal.
Okay, that was
Thank you.
Caroline's message to the Peanut fam. Lucy,
You guys just listen to these people. They seek out God's heart.
Listen
they
blindly.
Really, I mean, not blindly. I mean, back it up with what God is speaking to you. But these people know what they're talking about, so take it seriously.
thanks, Lucy. Guys, if you want more from them, follow them on Instagram. Follow her on
The TikTok.
the Tickety Tockety. We love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll catch you again very soon. Have hope.
And be free!
He is going to climb to the moon and back to make sure that he gets a second date. Thanks for cutting off my great,
So sorry.
my great
Get
lines.
squishy, dude.
Gets a second date.